Greetings and salutations, everyone.
Hola.
Obviously, you can tell by the title this is going to be a very serious video, and I'm going to try to maintain the level of decorum and civility required to not get banned from YouTube. But I cannot stress this enough. I mean every word I say with 100% seriousness, and this is a hill I'm willing to die on, literally, if need be. So we're just going to get right into it because I have other things to do today.
Yes.
If you're paying attention, you are probably aware of things like this. This is a book, thankfully now pulled from Amazon, but this is a book written by a Scottish woman, and it contains some pedophilic advice, such
Yes.
as take your child into bed with you and allow him or her watch as you have sex with your partner. And you can, I mean, just go ahead and pause the video and read this whole page. It's all, if equally, if not more disturbing than that. This is again from the Scottish author Anna LeBlanc. I tried Googling this person. I could barely find anything about them. I got this tweet from Courage is a Habit over here on Twitter. I think I'm actually just going to hit that follow button really quick. And then I went over to Goodreads to see if people were saying anything about this book over on Goodreads. Thankfully, it's got a low rating, as it should. And people are saying that this book is a grooming book, that the person who wrote this is intensely fucking creepy. The advice in here is absolutely fucking disgusting, and the book should be banned, etc., etc., etc. And
Yeah.
I agree. I'm not usually for the banning of books, but you know what? If a book outright says you should let your kids watch while you have sex with your partner, not only do I think that book should be banned, but I think the author should be investigated for pedophilic activity. We come over here to a different book. What's an abortion, anyways? Abortion doulas create abortion children's book. This is from the channel EWTN, which is a Catholic news network. So I'm actually not going to play the video, except to highlight this part where these women are reading sections from their book. And I want you to listen to this because this is absolutely fucking horrendous.
Where abortion is normalized. Listen for yourself.
Some people have an abortion. An abortion is when someone decides to stop growing their pregnancy.
There are many different ways that people who are pregnant can have an abortion. Some people see a doctor who does a special procedure to remove the pregnancy from inside a person's body. Other people take medicine to stop the pregnancy from growing bigger.
The creators say they
That's a fancy euphemism for chemically poison the child growing inside you, or a doctor reaches into you with snips and cuts your baby apart limb by limb. And they're marketing this book to children. This is fucking disgusting. Even if you think your kid should know about abortion, I think everyone should be able to agree that they shouldn't hear about this until a reasonable age where sex education should begin, like 13, 14, around the time they actually start puberty.
Yeah. Not 5 and 6 year olds.
Not 5 and 6 year olds. Over here at the Daily Wire, this is another thing about this book, Sex Education. This is where I found out that this woman was from Scotland. They kind of just do a write-up about some of the facts surrounding the book if you want to know more. This is where I got the fact that she was from Scotland. Go check this article out. Now, this is another book that illustrates the point that I want to make about the left being a group of evil pedophiles. This is a book called Things Tom Likes, a book about sexuality and masturbation for boys and young men with autism. Yes, because marketing things about sexuality to people who are mentally impaired is totally ethically and morally sound. there's nothing. There's no room for abuse or manipulation or grooming there at all.
Yeah.
Now,
Because as somebody who was a part of that group of people told me, the best victims are the ones that can't tell anyone.
yep. And in case you're thinking, well, maybe it's not that bad, maybe this is fine. This is literally a picture of a boy masturbating.
Yeah.
You scroll further down. This is on Amazon right now.
It's live on Amazon.
And this is supposed to be a kid's book that you can find this in public school libraries.
Yeah.
And this is okay.
Mhm.
Cartoons where kids are straight, and it's being marketed specifically to kids
Children.
who are mentally impaired, who are, easily taken advantage of by definition.
Mhm.
And this is okay. And I just have to beg the question, do you really think for a second that this person, Kate Reynolds, do you really think this person is right of center? I'm willing to bet, this is just a guess, I'm willing to bet feminist.
Mhm.
I'm willing to bet college educated.
Mhm.
And I'm willing to bet does not have a happy home life.
No.
Now, to further drive the point home, North Carolina middle schooler found dead on campus. This is from Daily Beast. You read down into this article, this kid killed themselves. A middle schooler killed themselves at school. This is from September 7th. Gee, I wonder if there's any association between the destruction of innocence and the forcing of inappropriate themes and knowledge onto children and rates of childhood depression and mental illness.
Hmm.
Come over here yet again. One more thing I want to show you. This is a collection of tweets from a Twitter account called Keffels.
Yeah.
This is a trans individual. I don't care if you like me or not. I live next to the train tracks. All I need to get pussy is tell an autistic girl she can watch the trains go by at my place every few hours. I'm better than you. You watch the train pass your house with an autistic girl. I ran a train on an autistic girl. We are not the same. The first vaccine made me gay. The second vaccine made me transgender. And now they want to give me the booster that will make me autistic. This is communism. Now, obviously, that last line, this whole tweet is this person's idea of a joke.
Yes.
I don't think it's very funny.
No.
The point that I want to make here is that these people have a clear pattern of predatory and disgusting attitudes towards children.
Mm-hmm.
They hate innocence.
Yeah.
They hate the concept of this beautiful, pure little thing that isn't completely fucked up like they are. And they are determined to destroy the concept of childhood innocence.
Mm-hmm.
It sickens them because they're evil. Caitlin?
Yeah. And as much as people like to say that this is not happening, the reason why there is an erasure of women going on right now is because they do not want there to be a mother figure to actually protect children.
Right. They demoralized men. Men have been demoralized with feminism. So now, most moms, well, I won't say most, a lot of moms are single moms.
Mm-hmm.
So now men are out of the way because they've been demoralized and told that they're worthless and weak and powerless. And men are committing suicide at a highest rate ever recorded in this country. They're refusing to get married. They're unhappy. They're incapable of being in a proper relationship. They're so stunted in their development as men that millions of men are looking towards pieces of shit like Andrew Tate for a role model.
Mm-hmm.
So men have effectively been put out of the way. And now they're trying to erase women by pretending that being a woman is a state of mind. I can't define a woman because I'm not a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So men are out of the way. Now they're trying to erase women, so women will be out of the way. so they can do whatever the fuck they want to the little ones.
Mhm.
Do not look me in the eyes and tell me the left is not evil. What about this right-wing person who hurt kids? What about this Christian who diddled kids? Stop with the whataboutisms.
Right.
I'm fucking tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired of the disingenuous whataboutisms. Are there people that claim to be conservatives, who claim to be Christians, who are pedophiles, who beat kids, who do horrible things to kids? Yeah, those people exist. And guess what? Everyone on my side of the fence denounces those people unequivocally. I've never heard a conservative who was a serious conservative pundit. I've never heard a Christian who had any level of respect in the wider community defend these kind of behaviors. It doesn't exist. Over on the left, people report selling of child porn to Twitter, and Twitter bans that account. Do not fucking give me your whataboutisms. There is a concerted effort on the left to attack children, to sexualize children, to destroy childhood innocence.
And it's considered brave and courageous. So yeah. So, pardon me or don't if, I have issues with every person I see who has pronouns in their bio.
Yep. Yeah. Don't tell me the pronouns in the bio is harmless. Don't tell me that trans people existing literally doesn't affect me. Look behind you. There's the slippery slope.
Right.
If you don't see how one thing led to another, how that led to another, how that led to another, it's not because you can't see it. It's not because there isn't a clear, obvious connection. It's because you're unwilling to see it, or much more likely, you're unwilling to admit that you see it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that both sides are equally fucked up. Don't tell me that I'm a paranoid conspiracy theorist. It's obvious. It's in plain sight. And if you're denying it, or if you're refusing to admit it, you're part of the problem.
Yeah. Because those who don't say anything are just as bad as those who are actually doing the thing.
And by the way, that's not just a moral statement. That's literally how the law works.
Mhm.
If you're aware of pedophilic abuse and you don't say anything, you can go to prison too.
Right. Depraved indifference.
Depraved indifference is just as evil as actually doing the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to come on and say. I highly recommend you inform yourself on the absolutely grooming ass things that they're trying to get into children's hands, children's books, drag queen story hour, fucking taking kids to pride parades. It's all an effort to make it easier to sexualize and abuse children.
Yeah.
Expose them to it so that you can do the next thing, so that you can do the next thing. Next thing you know, little Johnny has been permanently destroyed, and he grows up and he hurts kids because he was destroyed at a young age.
Or kills himself.
Or kills himself. So, yeah.
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 Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, and whether you look at this from a religious standpoint or a non-religious standpoint, giving children information like this when they are in their developmental stages is very damaging.
Yeah. Ask any child psychologist who's still willing to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
This stuff is completely age inappropriate. Leave the religious component out of it for all I care.
Mm-hmm.
When you discuss themes with a child, when you discuss knowledge with a child that they are not ready to process yet, it causes irreparable damage to them. Some children recover, some do not.
Yeah.
Look at one of your idols, Billie Eilish. She talked about how porn destroyed her brain as a child and how she's only now beginning to unravel all the damage pornography did to her as a young woman.
Mm-hmm.
I can say the same thing for me. I accessed porn at a very young age, and it did very bad things to me. I don't even want to get into it, but just very bad things.
Yeah.
So, no, do not tell me, well, these things are relative and there is an age-appropriate way to talk to 5-year-olds about sex. No.
No, there's not.
You're a groomer, and you're saying this because you desperately want to be able to have sex with kids. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, because the only age-appropriate way, right, yeah. Because the only age-appropriate way to talk about someone that young about these things is to not talk to them about it at all. Except to tell them that anyone that does talk to them about things like this,
Right.
they should tell you about it.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing that merits talking about. Remember when it used to be if an adult told your child that your child shouldn't tell you something that adult did with them or talked about with them, that your child was no longer allowed to be around that kid? So why is it suddenly okay that tons of teachers on TikTok are openly telling kids and advocating for kids not to talk to their parents about what they hear in the classroom? It's because they're grooming your kids. It's because they're indoctrinating them into this self-destructive ideology. One last thing before we go. Over 90% of gender dysphoria cases resolve if you do literally nothing.
Yes.
You start transitioning, that number falls to 0. They're stuck with the dysphoria for the rest of their life. And 41% of people with gender dysphoria who claim to be trans, their life ends in suicide. I rest my case. This has been Team Adventurous. Welcome to the adventure. We'll see you guys in the next one.